There's the stream. There's the record button. Alrighty, we're in. Alright, howdy guys, my name is Papa Conley. Sorry, give me a moment. I need to turn the music down a bit. Never mind, can't go any further down than that. I don't know, it sounds a bit loud. Anyways, welcome back. My name is Papa Conley. Let me open up the stream real quick. Okay, so welcome back to Ace Attorney. We're going to finish up the current case we're on. And then we're going to start the fourth case in the game. Oh, and we actually did pick up right where we left off. Okay, that's great. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Poor Powers. Well, I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez. You may continue. I immediately called the police. Powers showed up. But what was everyone doing at that time? No one said a thing. It was silent. Completely silent. We stood here until Powers arrived on the scene. Sorry I'm late. Then silence. Dead silence. Huh? Silence. Hey, Nick. Why is everyone so quiet? So I should do something to line things up. Security lady Oldbag was quite agitated, pointing at Powers and saying he did it. Oldbag, the security lady. Why did the security lady think Powers had done it? She said because she saw him going towards the studio. Right, Steel Samurai. The detective arrests Mr. Powers solely based on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seems to also have given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all this after the fact. Why are you watching a big... also, howdy, Big Tuna. Second of all, why are you watching a stream and a video at the same time? Also, my next question is: Are you skipping the cursed quiz, or are you watching that too? I'm so sorry for what I've done then. I'm so sorry. If you want context, Hooligan channel, which I need to put the link to in stream profile. You'll understand why. Actually, you know the story, but you'll understand why when I say why. But to be fair, Big Carrick did ask for it, so she's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hammer. I don't think I can use my case here. Asked to be left out of the proceedings. You asked to be left out? Yes. It seems that everyone else was questioned, and I'm really not fond of that sort of thing. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could have possibly been involved. Thus, they covered for us. Covered for you, or covered it up for you. There must have been a lot riding on with that bigwigs in the meeting. I'm sure her professionals helped convince everyone they didn't require questioning. Went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. A script and your direction notes? Yes, they were quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. Wait a second, I thought you came to Studio 1 for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? There was a murder, after all. Who could think of rehearsing after that? Oh yeah, wait a minute. What? Your Honor, I have what objections to the witness's last statement. Think. Miss Vasquez said she didn't bring the script because she would rebel. She wouldn't be at rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have known about the murder before going to Studio 1. Yeah. Order, order. Mr. Edgeworth, what you've just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense? I appreciate your concern, Your Honor. But I'll stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Miss Vasquez, do you have any explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. The prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you all misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal. Very well, the witness will change your testimony to reflect this reason. I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do anything about it. So I left Ben behind. How'd you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me. Sal the director? So, Sal and Old Bag. Sal and Old Bag when body was reported. Assistant was there too. Only Powers was absent. Immediately, the police called the police. Then police showed up. The security lady, Old Bag, was quite agitated, pointing out Powers, saying he was sus. Asked to be left out of proceedings. Went back to the trailer to get script and direction notes. Knew Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action behind the scenes, so I left them. Okay, so they found it after wait, did they? Okay, I may be stupid for what I'm about to do, but I'm going to present the steak plate. Nope. Absolutely not. Went back to the trailer to get the script and direction notes. Left out. Powers called the police. Assistant was there. Um. Huh. Um. Um... Um... So he was with Sal and Old Bag. Or she was with Sal and Old Bag. Assistant was there. Powers was absent. Press harder. What about the wait. So, photo number 2. Nope. Not even close. Okay. Nope, I'm just stupid. Let's see. What do I do here? I don't know what to do. This is truly befuddling times for my brain. Tuna. I need your brain. I need your brains. Do you have any idea what I'm missing here? Like at all? Maybe present the photo of Powers? Maybe? Ah. I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. That was a lucky guess. That was a completely lucky guess. Okay. Okay. I think because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending? One person was injured in the run-through that morning. And that person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Wait a minute. Yeah, I don't know how I figured that out. That was kind of a lucky guess. Like, there's literally no way my brain would have gotten that on its own. That's right, must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manella was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured and saw it happen. Wait, did she say... Oh, I feel stupid. Oh, she said it was Hammer who was limping, not Power. Oh. Oh, now I realize how I... Oh. I have... I am some special kind of stupid. I feel like some special kind of dumb right now. I'll be completely honest. Like, that was just an absolute lucky guess for something that I should have been able to notice. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manella. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but wasn't Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Ah. And when he was doing this, well, it would have to be that I put the Steel Samurai costume. He went to Studio 2, where he was murdered. Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were so confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. Did we get her? Order, order, I will have order. Witness. Can you refute this claim? Let's see, sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Why is the real killer always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing. Yes, you would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? There's a reason it's unclear to court. Something tells me this picture would be the motive. Wait, nope. This picture would be the motive. Just a little hunch. Just a slight hunch. I have proof and I'll show it to you. This is my proof. This is the photo from before. This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial. It began on that day, 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. Skill weighed him down, no doubt. However, you, D. Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bringing us to the present day, and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star. One more moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, and yet you only talk about Mr. Hammer. Well, it seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motives would Miss Vasquez have? Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine. Mr. Wright, please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for the murder. Let's say she doesn't. She had no motive, Your Honor. As Mr. Hammer was out for blood, all Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. What's that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez. What? What? Your Honor. Mr. Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill D. Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years ago. So, you did do it, didn't you? Yes. I am guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance. There's blood everywhere. We're too late. Miss Vasquez, what happened here? Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. Manuel? Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No, how could this? It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing his action scene and... No, Manuel! Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez. I see. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose again. Nah. Our client's innocent. In the waiting room lobby, Your Honor, as calm and collected as ever. Ah, sucker. It appears I'm the winner, and you're the loser. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. It appears you have brought about yet another miracle. Thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Well, Powers was innocent. He should have been found, so it's only natural, not a miracle. Yes, you're right. Bro, is my stream like very late on your end or something? Cause I just saw you say I don't know. Oh, he's gone. I miss him already. The court finds defendant Mr. Will Powers. I mean, good job on not being guilty. Pre-prog jam. I gotta be honest. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. I'm just glad you're okay. Yes, but it's sad. Now I know that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that I want to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think that he tried to frame me for murder makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright. Huh? Tell me. Why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me? Well, I think this is it. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... I really just want to present the attorney's badge. Now, we already did that once. We're going to actually present evidence. Because you were the Steel Samurai. So I was the Steel Samurai? Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kids' show. As a villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai. So he hated you. I think that I understand. He could have just told me. I would have changed places with him any time. I think you're missing the point. Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over. So am I. Congratulations, WP. Oh. Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. About that... Is something wrong? No, of course not. Nick Edgeworth. Here he is. The nerd himself. Say something, right? I'm not good at small talk. What? That was too bad, Edgeworth. You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in. Pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Oh, yeah, he's a massive Steel Samurai nerd. Liar. Right? Must say, I expected to meet you again after all these years. Meet again? However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I'm saddled with unnecessary feelings. Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty. Aren't those kind of necessary? They serve to get in my way. Okay, Edgelord. I don't care what storm has been approaching in your... I just said that. Oh, I just said that. That means I've came to the real... Why, Carrick? Why? Why must you do this to me? Why, Carrick? Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's why I came here to talk. Dear Lord! It's not even a... It's not like he wants that. What, Mr. I, was that the guy your friend? What, friends? As if. They're rivals. Rivals, right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick. Tell me. What's the deal with you and Edgeworth? And so the curtain closed on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was quite the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kids shows again. Nick! This is it. The new show starts today. You're going to watch it with me, right? Oh man, I was kind of surprised. Didn't think they'd seriously go through with it. You have to buy trading cards too, okay? Have to trade with Cody and that assistant. Fine, I'll do it. Isn't it great that WP gets to play? Oh, that's funny. Wonder if they'll show his real face this time. I don't know. I don't think the world's ready for the real Will Powers. Oh, here comes episode 4. Not gonna lie, a little hyped. Just a bit. Just a little bit. It's been what, 15 years? About that, yes. 15 years is a long time to wait. You can't imagine how much I've suffered. You've suffered? But now, the perfect opportunity has presented itself. At last, I shall have my revenge. What? Merry Christmas. Ayo, he dead. Why does Edgeworth have a gun? Why does he have a gun? Hey, Nick. Think there's any good waterfalls around here? Waterfall? Dare I ask why? Duh, Nick, isn't it obvious? I need a waterfall to stand under. Preferably a freezing one. Oh, is that part of your spirit medium training? Of course, except I've been slacking off lately. I need to brave the elements and forged into under the rushing spring waters. Okay. Don't know about any falls per se, but Lake Gord is pretty close. Oh, darn. Yeah, but them's the breaks. Could you just take a cold shower or something? Good idea. That's for rushing spring waters. Next in the news, a large unidentified animal was sighted at Gord Lake. Town's buzzing with excitement. Locals are calling it Gordy, and a tip of the hat to Nessie, the Loch Ness monster. Though its namesake Nessie proved to be a hoax. Locals are confident their Gordy's the real deal. Boring. Can't they show real news for a change? Nick. The water pressure's kind of low in that shower. A lot more pressure, huh? Why don't you go down to the fire department and have them spray you with a hose? Oh, what have we done? Apparently, Fave let us know aid in detecting sarcasm. We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. Strange occurrences continue at Gourd Lake, but this time it's murder. Lake Gourd again? The body of a man was found in the lake early this morning, and the suspect was apprehended. Sources inside the police department revealed that the suspect's name was Miles Edgeworth, age 24. Oh. Edgeworth was an up-and-coming prosecutor, known for his skill and connections. He was guaranteed a long, rewarding career. Has he thrown it all away? Edgeworth? What's going on? Edgeworth would never do something like... Nick? Maya? The fireman yelled at me when I called him. I got bigger things to worry about than that. They arrested Edgeworth. What? You mean the prosecutor? Yeah, he's a suspect in a murder. What? When, where, whom, why, how? I don't know. Let's find out, Nick. Well, what do we do? What do you mean? Let's investigate. We should talk to Mr. Edgeworth and check out the crime scene. You're right, we need more information. Save aimless and confusion for later. Yeah, well, you got any good ideas? Not really. My best thinking when I'm standing underneath a waterfall. I know this is probably an inopportune time, but have you seen my attorney's badge? I think it's developing a nice luster. I'll look at your badge later, Nick. We've got work to do. Suppose you're right. Just look at my badge, man. Just look at my badge. Actually, what's new in the office? I say, meanwhile, our friend is currently being investigated for murder. Looks like a cleaning day at the hotel across the way. Kind of planning a second branch outside the city. I can see the bellboy getting the angle of the screw in that drawer just right. Mia's favorite plant. Its name is Charlie. Maya's gotten the knack of watering it lately. Charlie's been perking up these days. Maya brought in a poster of the Steel Samurai the other day. We had a big fight over whether to put it up or not. I know she's just waiting for the chance to sneak it up on the wall. Of course she did. Mia's desk. If we had more clients, I probably would sit here more often. Lately, I've been spending more time on the couch watching TV. Difficult-looking legal books stand in a formidable role. They mock me. Tried reading one. Made my head hurt. When I closed it, it slipped out of my hand. And then my foot hurt, too. Dang. That sucks. We should probably go, talk to Edgeworth. December 25th, Detention Center, visitor's room. You know, Nick, we've all been in here one time or another, haven't we? I guess it comes with the territory. I'm not sure it's something we should mention to too many people. Oh, hey, there's Edgeworth. Ah! Hey, Edgeworth, come back! What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Nick, I don't think he's in a very good mood. Well, he is in detention. Were you in a good mood when you were here? Did you come to laugh at the fallen attorney? Then laugh. Laugh! Well, why aren't you laughing? Bro, chill. Nah, it's a trick. Laughing, he'll get mad. Or burst into tears. Edgeworth, we don't have much free time we can spend coming down here to laugh at you. Yes, you do. Actually, he's right. Hope you won't come. I didn't want you to see me. Not like this. Didn't want to see you like this either, believe me. Edgeworth, tell me what happened. Why should I? What are you going to do about it? Duh! Going to help you, that's what. Help me? You? Don't be ridiculous. Sorry? You're a novice. You've only been in 3 trials. He's not wrong. Sure, you got lucky and won all 3. But your luck's bound to run out someday. Oddly enough, his luck doesn't run out on a trial. His luck runs out, losing his badge. Nick, he's insulting you. Nick, why am I always the one who has to get angry? The murder took place at Gourd Lake, correct? Yes. Late last night. Lake's a long way away from your offices in the courthouse. Why were you down there? See no need to tell you. Mr. Edgeworth, you didn't really... Gordy. Huh? I went to see Gordy. Gordy? What's that? I'll tell you later. Why won't Edgeworth talk to us? Will you talk to us as I show you my attorney's badge? Your attorney's badge. Edgeworth, let me defend you. Good one, right? But I'm not that hard up. Not yet. What do you mean by that? Me? Trust a wet behind the ears lawyer with only 3 trials under his belt? Never. But we're the protagonist. What? My case isn't near hopeless, right? Every defense attorney I've talked to has turned me down. What? Simply put, they were afraid they'd lose. It occurred to me that it might be my fault they lack confidence. After all, I did get every single one of their clients declared guilty. I don't believe it. Regardless, I don't want you involved in this. You in particular, I cannot ask to do this. Dude, you've got no one else. Edgeworth, this is really hard for me to ask, but you didn't do it, right? I think what you will. I have only one request. Huh? Stay out of this case. How about no? But Nick is trying to help you. I know that, but don't want your help, okay? You edgy nerd! Look, just go away and leave me alone. You edgy nerd, just accept our... Maya, let's go investigate elsewhere. But Nick... Edgy little nerd. Garmonder's visitor room. Hasn't moved an inch since I came in. A real pro. Probably would have said something about Edgeworth if I looked earlier. Off the camera. Listen where it happened? Yeah, Gourd Lake is in the middle of this park. I can see some police walking around in here. Questioning people, probably. Hey, isn't that Detective Gumshoe over there? Well, pal. There's enough of us here. Anyone found anything? Sorry, sir. Nothing. Idiot, the trial's tomorrow. I need clues on the double. But sir, there weren't any clues. That's why we arrested that attorney, Mr. Edgeworth. It's clear, sir. He's the one who... Shut up. Just you try saying that again. I'll make you sorry if you do. So just get out of my face, pal. Yes, sir. Detective Gumshoe's kind of scary today. Recruits. Peh. Ah. Ah. Hey, you're that hairy guy. What the? Phoenix, right? Just where do you're here, pal? Investigating? Well, yes, I suppose. Well, I'm here to help. Ask me anything you want. Bring it. I feel intimidated. Not gonna lie. Surgeon hasn't asked us to defend him yet. Huh? Oh, you don't say. What happened? Detective Gumshoe? Do you know what happened here? Huh, you don't know, pal? No. Okay, Mr. Heads in the fluffy pink clouds, lawyer. Head in the... Huh? Never mind, I'll tell you. Happened last night about 15 minutes after midnight. There was a boat out on Gourd Lake. And in that boat were 2 men. One of those men shot the other with a pistol. Sam. And the shooter was Mr. Edgeworth. A cop arrived on the scene to arrest him. How did they get there so fast? Well, there was a witness. When the report came in, we raced to the lake. A witness? I don't think Mr. Edgeworth is a murderer, do you? Ooh, that's gonna... Absolutely not! It's impossible! I don't care if there's a witness either. I don't believe a lick of it. Right, who cares what that witness says? Yeah, witness is probably the murderer anyways. I care. You believe in him, don't you, detective? Of course I do. But the police are pretty sure he's the killer. Nobody's even really taking this investigation that seriously. Oh no. After all the help Mr. Edgeworth has been to us. Hard to imagine that no one's standing up to take his side. Well, at least you are, detective. At least you are. Is it true? You want to take Mr. Edgeworth's case? Yeah. He's a bit of a celebrity. If you defend him and lost, your reputation would be sure to suffer. What's more, the case against him is, well, it's pretty solid. I suppose it would be if they have a witness. Hey, pal. Don't tell me you're going to turn your back on him, too. Remember the Steel Samurai case? Mr. Edgeworth helped you get your client declared innocent. I know. I went to Edgeworth. I tried. He really doesn't want us to represent him. Especially not us, he said. What? Well, that doesn't make any sense, pal. You should have heard him talking about you after that trial. Kept saying right over and over. Nick. Not sure that's a good sign. Neither am I. Why doesn't he want your help? I don't get it. Well, tell us about this witness. Who is this witness? Sorry, pal, that's confidential. Anyways, the witness saw everything, apparently. Pretty sure they'll turn up at the trial tomorrow. Was there only that one witness? Yep, it was pretty cold out on the lake last night. And it was Christmas Eve, after all. So, this trial is happening during Christmas? Or this investigation is happening during Christmas? No wonder you're going to turn up to another witness. If I were here today checking things out. So far we're coming up empty. Oh, it's Christmas today. I'd forgotten. What are you getting me for Christmas, Nick? Talk to Santa. Detective Gumshoe, sir. What? Find something. Find something? No, sir. Not yet. But there's a call from the precinct. They want to hold an investigation briefing. A briefing? Right, I'm off. Oh. Sorry, pal. I guess you heard I gotta go. Any last things you want to ask me about before I head back? I mean, this would probably be important. You're not coming back, detective? Probably not, pal. So what should we do if we have something to talk to you about? Ah, right. Here, I'll show you how to get to the precinct. Come on down and see me anytime soon. So police station received from Detective Gumshoe. Oh, hey, Detective Gumshoe. What? I'd like to take a look around the park. Can we walk around? Yeah, no problem, pal. You got my permission. Finally, there's not going to get paid for getting information. I know, Nick. There's something here to be said about talking to people when they're busy. I think it's more we're trying to help out Edgeworth than that, but okay. Right, now let's get investigating. If you wonders chill from the bare leaves today. What's about winter that turns people into poets? I don't know, but my toes are starting to feel numb. Yes, my poetry has effect on some people. Me too, buddy. Me too. There's a sign here that says Gourd Lake Nature Park. This place is full of families picnicking on the... Why would you want to picnic at a murder scene? But no waterfall. Not many picnickers come here for spiritual training, Maya. Well, I mean, I don't know. I've heard picnics described as a spiritual experience before. Hey, I know it's here. And who's here? Wowzers, this is Gourd Lake? Yep. Not sure it warrants a wowzers, though. Probably not. But hey, look at that! That's snack sand. Samurai dogs. I want a samurai dog, please. Bet they're great. With a name like Samurai Dog, how could they not be? They're a little behind the times, though. The kids are all into the pink princess now. I mean, like, you know? No. Wow, the Gourd Lake is really big. Yeah. Say, Nick, why is it called Gourd Lake? Oh. Well, a long time ago, they used to grow gourds here. Wow, no way. I'm sure it's because the lake looked like a gourd when viewed from above. You know, like an hourglass shape? Well, it's shaped like a gourd, actually, but that's just a coincidence. Oh, okay. Huh. Well, didn't see that signpost. Left boat docks. Right exit. Exit what? Reality? The trash can's empty. At least the place is well maintained. Huh. Someone left some poppers here, you know? You pull the string, and that goes pop. Yeah, I know the ones. You see them around a lot. New Year's. Hey, Nick, that might be a clue. Let's take them. Come on, Matt, you just want to pop them, right? Was it that obvious? Poppers. Huh? Where'd they go? Into my pocket. Classic party noisemaker. Pull a string and it goes bang. Not very clue-worthy. I have plastic benches. Guess the idea is you buy a dog and eat it here. Not anyone would sit here and eat it on a day like this. Except maybe Maya. If she had a samurai dog. Yeah, probably. A hot dog stand. It's closed. And the Christmas fringe looks a little half-baked. The banner reads Samurai Dogs. Someone needs to redecorate. Yeah. You never guess who's running this place. Let's check out boat rental. December 25th, boat rental shop. Nick, what's this place? A boat rental shop. It's closed for Christmas, it seems. I guess a murder taking place here on one of the boats won't be good for business either. Boats? I never ridden on a boat. Really? Well, how about we go out on one when the trial's finished? Hey, good idea. You bet? You bet. A small boat rental shop. Doesn't look like anyone is around. Probably closed off because it's Christmas. Yeah, probably. There's some boats floating in the dock. Was one of these boats used in the murder? I wonder. Probably. Nick? Huh? I changed my mind. I don't really want to go for a boat ride. Yeah, that's probably fair. Well, nothing here. We're forced off that way. I doubt I'd find any helpful clues in there. Well, I mean, you could noise check. Oh yeah, probably should have gone there too. September 25th, Gourd Lake Woods. I like it here, Nick. Look, someone's camping. They've got guts camping at the scene of a murder. Hey, Nick! They're camping here last night. They must know something about the murder. That's true. I wonder if it's our witness. Oh, gee, who'd think? This camera has a mic of some sort of attachment. Must take pictures when triggered by a noise. Wow, cool. Let's try it out. Cough. Hi, I'm Nick. Maybe I'm not saying it loud enough. Hey, I'm Nick. Huh. Nick. Will you stop that? Maybe it's broken. Don't kick it. It is set to respond to voices. Well then, these things? The party poppers? Well, I responded. Yeah. Hey, you get your hands off of that. Oh no. It's a southern woman. One, the Sam Hill. Oh no. A southern woman. Run. Look what y'all done now. There goes my whole roll of film. Ah, what? Huh? Sorry. Sorry isn't nice, but you don't pay my bills. You know how much that roll of film costs? I'll pay you back. What were y'all thinking setting off a party popper in a place like this? Well. What? Don't try to play stupid with me just because you think I'm some country bumpkin. I know y'all Yanks think. Oh no, she's pulling out the Yank word. She's pulling out the Y word. Run, run. I say, those southern folk talk with that exaggerated drawl. Why, they must be dumb. Well, let me tell you, just because I might be dumb, don't mean we all are. Nick, help! Who are you, a chaperone? Yeah, no, rather, we're sort of friends? Figure y'all were going to say something for... Say for... What is this? What, sake? God, I'd rather sit through one of Papa's draws than listen to you stutter all day. Oh, boy. Guess we should pay for the film. Watch it! Yes, ma'am. Second thought, I'll pay later. I'm really sorry. What? Can't you see I'm changing film on my camera here? Someone, I'm not naming any names, but someone used up a whole roll. Sorry. That didn't work. Wonder if I have anything to show her that could get her attention. What? Nope. What if I show her the attorney's badge? This is my badge. Huh. Our badge is supposed to be all shiny and impressive. You a cop or something? I'm a lawyer. What? Y'all ain't gonna try and pull one of them lawsuits on me over that film now. Because I'll have y'all know I'm a fighter and I wrestled with meaner looking things than you. That's not even... No, that's not it at all. We're investigating a murder that took place here on the lake. A murder? Sounds cool. Why didn't y'all say that in the first place? Go ahead, ask me anything you like. Finally, some cooperation. You too, y'all can come out of hiding now. I won't bite hard. I don't think where did Maya get to? Sorry. I was feeling a little overwhelmed. The culture gap and all. Never mind. Never you mind, honey. I could talk all yank for you. Ahem. If it pleases you. Thanks. I think I'll be okay. Great then. I'm Lotta. Lotta Hart. But you could just call me Lotta. Why do you have those, like, slightly dead fish looking eyes? And they have the ring, too. Why does everyone's eyes in this game have the little ring inside? I'm here to photograph a meteor shower for a research project. Mighty pleased to meet you. Yeah, when I was at... Oh yeah, when was that murder anyway? I ain't seen much television lately. Happened late at night on Christmas Eve. That's so, Christmas Eve? A man on a boat was shot. Did you see anything? Well, let me see. A boat, you say? I reckon I might have seen one. Not sure, though. Y'all gotta remember, I've been watching this here lake for a good 3 days now. I've seen enough boats to choke a mule. Kinda hard to remember which I seen that when. So what is it you do, Lotta? Huh? Me? Y'all don't really want to know that, do ya? Actually, I'm a research student at Country U. Right in the heart of the heartland. So you're saying in Missouri, right? Isn't that where the Heartland is? Wait. See, around Missouri. Possibly in Missouri. As a Missourian who lives in the middle of the country, I can confirm I do not talk like that. Just a little by the way. If you couldn't tell. Nick, she's a research student at a university. Country U. So I heard. When did you come up here? Let me see. I guess I was about 3 days ago. What are you photographing? Oh, didn't I tell y'all that already? Meteors. Yep, meteor showers. Falling stars. That's quite a camera you have there. Y'all better know it. It's German made. A genuine Solingen. Isn't that where they make knives? So it's that device you have stuck to the camera. Huh? Device? Camera went off all by itself when I fired my party popper. Oh, that mic triggers the shutter whenever it detects certain sounds. I programmed it to pick up loud noises right now. Programmable camera. Neat. So, have you by chance seen my attorney's wait, no, we already showed her that. Yeah? It's your camera. Triggers when a loud explosion noises? Yep. Actually, the victim in the case we're researching has been shot with a pistol. A pistol? Right, now, wouldn't a gunshot make a similar noise to a party popper? Not really, but in the same way, I guess, kinda. Camera didn't get a picture of the murder, did it? Hey, y'all look pretty bright. Huh? I see what you're saying. Tell you what, I'll have a look at my film. It would have been a photo taken last night. I checked him once. Don't remember if there was anything on him, though. Well, I got some. It could be nice to witness a genuine murder. Yeehaw. I'll go check that film. Y'all come back now, you hear? She went inside her SUV. Guess we should take a look. Guess we should come back here later. I want to finish examining. Camera's rigged to respond to noise, but only responds to loud noise like a party popper. The sign here says no camping. Find a place to pitch your tent. Wait, what if the sign said no setting tents on fire? I don't think they have signs like that. Oh. There's food and some magazines on the sheet. Takes a pretty tough skin to camp in this cold. Hey, Nick. What? Don't tell me you're hungry again. No, no. I was wondering, why are camping pots and pans made of aluminum? Did they talk about any of the law books? There's no law saying that made out of aluminum, then? I'm not having this conversation. This SUV has seen better days. It's dented all over. Can't believe anyone would drive their car down here. Well, anyways, that's that. It's time we moved out to, I don't know. Guess we could head to the police station. December 25th, Police Department, Criminal Affairs. Guess Detective Gumshoe is still in that meeting. Hey! Thanks for coming down, pal. Detective Gumshoe. We just finished a meeting, for better or for worse. I get the feel we're in for some bad news. You know anything about the victim yet? No, still can't ID him. And Mr. Edgeworth said anything? Not a word. Wait, we don't have our victim? Huh, I guess we don't. Ah. So how'd the meeting go? Can't tell you, pal. You're a lawyer. It's true. You know, I don't know what to believe anymore. Sure, Mr. Edgeworth's a human like you or me. Still, I get the feeling that if he's done something wrong, he wouldn't go hiding it. Just the kind of guy he is. Why can't anyone else see that? So you think that Mr. Edgeworth did it? Well, the trial's starting tomorrow as scheduled. I see. Well, we just, Hey, in the end, you didn't tell us about the meeting. Don't go telling anyone else, pal. Yes, sir. And do me a favor. Stand by Mr. Edgeworth. He needs help, and you're the ones to help him. I'm sure he's got some reasons why he won't talk to us. Thanks, Detective Gumshoe. Detective Gumshoe. How come you trust Edgeworth so much? Well, I think that was obvious. We got a strong working relationship, the two of us. We trust each other, and that's how it works. Working relationship? See, Mr. Edgeworth always gets his defendants declared guilty every time. Yeah, his methods might be a little extreme at times, but there's a reason. He trusts our investigation, see? He trusts us to get the right man. That's why I work extra hard, pal. Gotta earn that trust he placed in us. I see. Mr. Edgeworth is a man you can trust. And you have my word on that. Oh yeah, we do still need the autopsy report, don't we? Did you ever get that autopsy report? Oh, that. Yeah, I made a copy for you. Thank you. Nick? Huh? Can you show me the photo of the victim? That face. Someone you know? I don't know. I just have this feeling that I met him somewhere a long time ago. Okay, hear me out, Gumshoe. Hear me out. Attorney's badge. Sorry, I'm drawing blanks right now. Okay, hear me out. No, you've got nothing to say on the camera. Well, I hope it helps you, pal. Thanks, detective. Guess we look around a bit. Must be one of the detectives. He's mumbling something to himself. Alright, hands against the wall. All of you. Don't even think about escaping. Got eyes in the back of my head. Must be doing image training for arrests. These are the detectives' desks. There are computers and files on each one. Funny, they're a lot tidier than I expect. Guess the detectives don't spend a lot of time at their desks. This must be the chief of the detectives here. He's glued to his computer screen. What? Gord Lake? Gordy's cited? I don't believe it. Shouldn't you be reading something more important? Hey, is that the police department's mascot? That's the Blue Badger. That was my idea. I made it. It's my mascot. I see. How nice. I'll get him a signed mascot of the Criminal Affairs Department if it's the last thing I do. Good luck. Poster of a female police officer. Wait, no, that's the latest Babes in Uniforms calendar. My bad. I see. Nothing else? I guess we got everything for now. Guess we regroup with Maya. What is it? Oh, nothing. Just something's been bothering me. Can you show me that autopsy report one more? Hey, I remember now. This guy. He's a lawyer that was at the office Mia worked at. I met him once when I went there to hang out with my sis. That office? Wait. You mean Grosberg's office? Right, that guy. That's the last name I expected to come up. I should go talk to him for old time's sake. Well, what should we do? Police have pretty much made up their minds that Mr. Edgeworth did it. Mr. Edgeworth won't tell us anything. So I guess we could go look for the clues down by the lake. Well, pay for your thoughts? Thoughts? Thoughts. Yeah, why won't Mr. Edgeworth tell us anything? And why do you refuse to ask for our help? What jerk. Guess we should head down to Grosberg's. December 25th, Grosberg Law Offices. The law says I was here at last. Mr. Grosberg is out as usual. Hey Nick, look at the wall. Painting's still missing. Mia must have known about the deal with Mr. Grosberg and Red White. She kept track of all White's extortion blackmail rackets. There's gotta be something here. It's a pot plant. Table for clients. Mahogany desk. Looking mahogany bookshelves with books. You know what? Maya just wants to steal everything, and I'm all for it. Big Pan was hanging there until recently. Huh. What happened to it? Well, he gave it to someone. But he gave it to someone... Some romantic interest. Love blooms eternal, Nick. Yeah. Well, that was useless. Nope, nothing here. Nope, okay. Why'd I go back here? What am I doing? Nope. Think Lotta's done with the film. December 25th, Gourd Lake Woods. Hey, y'all. Lotta. Wait up a sec, we got bingo. Bingo? My automatic camera took 2 pictures last night. Hey. This is them. Take a look. Wait. See? See? He's shooting with that pistol. Looks like that, yes. We can't really tell is that shooting. Yeah, well, there was enough fog out there last night to strangle a bullfrog. But you know, seeing these photos remind me of something. What? I saw the murder happen. I'm a witness. What? Are you serious? Of course. How do you forget? Never mind. Y'all reckon I should tell the cops? No. I reckon no. What's that? Now don't y'all think y'all can pull one over on me just because you speak with a lingual. You know enough to know that when you see a murder, you should best tell the cops. It's my obligation as a citizen. So I'm off to talk to the cops. Y'all can have this photo. Later. Wait, Lotta. What, can't y'all see I'm kind of busy? Tell us what you saw too, please. Nice try, honey, but I wasn't born yesterday. I'm a witness, and that means I'm on the side of justice. That means the cops. No sooner are you around the south side of a northbound skunk than tell you. But Lotta, don't let it get to your skivvies in a bunch. Friends today, enemies tomorrow. Or is it the other ways around? No matter. And maybe they'll let me do some testifying. Hot darn. She left. Well, that's one more witness. What do we do now, Nick? Well, if she saw something, there's not much we can do about it. The question is... Oh, hey, Tuna's back. Hi, Tuna. The question is, what exactly did she see? Well, I guess we'll find out in the trial tomorrow. Yay! Looks like the police have given up their interviewing. Hey! Ah! Nick, it's Santa. I think Santa's mad at you. Long time no see, Nick. Nick, you know Santa? Wow, Nick and Saint Nick. Hey, I see the connection. Don't be ridiculous. Dude, it's me. Larry? Look, it's Larry. What are you doing here? Isn't obvious? I'm working my day job. I sell samurai dogs. Want one? Gotta get money for dates, you know? My girl, Kianse, deserves the best. Kianse? Not another model, I hope. Oh, Kianse's a fine woman, Nick. It was her idea that I wear this costume. She was all, you go, girlfriend, you know? She bought this costume for me. That's great, Larry. Wow, a Santa costume. She must be really nice. Whoa, cute. Nick, who's she? She's not your... Dude. She's 17, calm down. You're like 23. Calm down, buddy. Calm. Chill out. Relax. This partner, Maya Fey. I'm the little sister. Sister? Wow, Nick must be tough. Working 9 to 5, I have to take care of a little sister. No, I'm not Nick's sister. I'm my older sister's little sister. Huh, sounds great. Don't worry, Maya, he's not listening. Hey, Larry. There was a murder here last night. And since you work here, have you heard anything? Nick, you're wasting your time. Last night was Christmas Eve. He was out with Kianse, obviously. He wouldn't have been standing out here in the cold. Oh. I think what you just said caught him off guard, Maya. No, it's just Kianse's not in town right now. She's in Hawaii on a photo shoot. A model? I knew it. Well, anyways, there was murder here on the lake. The trial's tomorrow. Ha, neat. The defendant is Edgeworth, Miles Edgeworth. Nick. Oh, Larry, no Edgeworth. Whoa, Nick? You don't mean that Miles Edgeworth? Old Edgy? Yeah, he's a murder suspect. Whoa, murder? Man's got destroyed. Yeah. You know Mr. Edgeworth, Larry? Yeah, of course. Edgy was in the same class as us in grade school. What? Samurai dogs. Tell me about the dogs. Huh? Oh, you mean the samurai dogs? Why are they samurai dogs? I mean, they kind of look like gourd-shaped. Well, originally they were gourd dogs, you know, like guard dogs. Ouch. The samurai thing was Kianse's idea. Oh, she's my woman, you know. She was all, change the name and you go, girlfriend. She made me that banner. Man, the kids can't get enough of those samurai dogs. Something about that just seems wrong. Oh, and guess what? We're getting a ton of customers here at the lake with the big news. The big news? Yeah, Gordy. Gordy? So Mr. Edgeworth was your classmate, Larry? Yeah, Nick, him and I used to hang out all the time. Wow, I never knew. Don't get me wrong, he's always been kind of a stick in the mud. Studying all the time, trying to be like father. Like his father? Yeah, Edgy's pop was a famous defense lawyer back in the day. Wow. Wait. You said defense lawyer? Yeah. I guess you could say his dad was an ace attorney? I'll go. Even though it's my stream, I'll go. I'll leave. Mr. Edgeworth is a prosecuting attorney. What? Edgy's a proboscis? No, he's a prosecuting attorney. That's like the total opposite of a defense lawyer. Huh. Go figure. I used to talk about defending the weak who were unable to defend themselves. Man, he used to go on and on about man's duty to society and all that. What a bore. I wonder what changed his mind, though. Do you know, Nick? Nick? What's Gordy? Huh? You mean you don't know? It's here in this very lake, a giant mysterious monster. Gordy. Ah, monster? Yeah. Check it out. This is an article from yesterday's newspaper. There's a photo. Wow, it's real. Nick, a monster. A real monster. Yeah. It's probably just a log or something. Right? Hey, there's a quote here from the person who took the photo. What's this? I set the camera to automatic, and when we got into the frame, I heard a loud bang, like an explosion. Probably the sound of something slipping into the water. I wish I could have seen it. Why would there be a sound like an explosion? Larry? Can I borrow this article from you? Sure, no problem. That'll be $1 million. Well, $1 million? Grow up, Larry. Gordy article added to the court record. With every bit of evidence, I grow stronger. So have you seen my attorney's badge, Larry? Huh. Oh, that's your attorney's badge, isn't it? Dude, you really helped me out back in that trial. Sorry, I can't really pay you. Because you blow it all on Kianse. But you can't have all the dogs you want. Really? Larry? If you let her at your dogs, you won't have any left for other customers. Hey, no problem. If that's the one that makes her happy, you know? How many times do I have to remind you that it was me who got you off the hook? What's that? It's a camera. You take pictures with it. Huh. Larry, you don't know what a camera is? Of course I know. Hey, you're the one looking at a bona fide junior high graduate. I was talking about that weird contraption on the camera. Oh, that. Well, it's hard to explain. Just forget about it. You don't like showing it to me, then geez. Hey, Larry, you know this guy? Who's this? I don't know. That's why I asked you. Who's this, Maya? Well... What's this? You know, my eyes have been getting pretty bad lately, Nick. Actually, that photo's blurry, Larry. Let's take it last night. Last night? Well, that's all he has to say. Guess check out the boat rental shop again? No? Nothing there? Okay. Go back down to the detention center? Maybe he's back? No. Grosberg Law Offices? Oh, there's something new. That old familiar clearing of the throat. Aha! You're Mia something, are you not? I was her understudy. Yes, Phoenix Wright. Aha! And you're Mia something too, are you not? Her little sister, yes. You've grown. You come to look a lot like your sister, you know? Takes me back. Ah, the days of my youth. Like the scent of fresh lemon, you see. Mr. Grosberg, sir? Hmm? Ah, yes, I beg your pardon. Of course you came here to discuss something. What is it then? Something the matter? There's a murder last night. A murder? You haven't heard? I just got up, you see. Well, Miles Edgeworth shot someone with a pistol. Edgeworth? What? Who did he shoot? Well, the identity of the victim is still unknown. This is terrible news indeed. I guess you hadn't heard anything. Mr. Grosberg, whatever happened to that painting? Oh, yes. I do not think I shall ever be coming back home to this office. I can't exactly claim it as stolen. I suppose it's my just desserts. Old bitter desserts. So have you seen my attorney's badge? You've really grown up in the past years, my dear. How proud Mia would be if she could see you now. She said she was more worried about me than anything. Ah, just go on and take the compliment, will you? So this camera on the lake takes photos whenever it hears an explosion sound. That's what she said. Aha. Just have me set up on the beach pointing out at the lake. Yes. She said it was a photograph shooting stars. Shooting stars. Explosions. What's the connection? I'd be suspicious of this witness of yours. Strange. I feel as though I've seen this man somewhere before. Ah! Do you remember? He was a lawyer here in my office. That's Hammond. Robert Hammond. Mr. Hammond? And you say this is the man Miles Edgeworth shot? Who's this Hammond guy anyway? Mr. Hammond? He was the defense attorney in that case. That case? Yes, the Dl6 Incident. Dl6? Why does that sound so familiar? Perhaps you remember. I'm sure someone mentioned it during the trial for Mia's murder. It was the incident where the police were so at a loss they used a spirit medium. Wait, you don't mean... that medium, my mother? Yes, my dear. A spirit medium. Misty Faye, your mother, contacted the spirit of the victim. He's a nerd. Who's a nerd? I'm a bit lost. Are you talking about Grosberg? I'm assuming you're referring to Grosberg. The Dl6 incident, yes, happened 15 years ago. Very strange case indeed. Oh. I mean, I am, but what does that have to do with this case? They never caught the criminal, right? Correct. Misty Faye used her powers to talk to the spirit of the late victim. Her testimony led to charges being laid against one man. But Mr. Hammond won the case and the suspect was declared innocent. And the police blamed my mother, calling her a fraud. You were the one who helped her out then, right, Mr. Grosberg? Yes, quite. Thank you. No, please, don't mention it. Dl6. Never thought I'd hear that name again. Ha, you didn't have to do me like that, man. Come on. Never thought I'd hear that name again. But wait. What does that case have to do anything to do with Mr. Edgeworth? It's everything to do with Mr. Edgeworth, my dear. The victim in the DL incident was none other than his father, Gregory Edgeworth. What is his father? If you want to know more, you should ask him yourself. Show him this. I'm sure he'll talk to you. Wait. This is a photograph of my mother. Didn't mean to do that. No, I wanted to back. Anything else? No? I guess we'll go to the detention center. Room 25th, Detention Center Visitors Room. What's this? I was hoping you got my message the first time. Edgeworth, what about your defense? It's no concern of yours, because he hasn't found anyone yet. Can I ask you about the murder? Right. I'll ask you again. Just leave me alone. Please try to understand. I'm not doing this to prove I'm tough or because I look down on you. I don't want you getting anywhere near this case, understand? Okay, Edgelord. Why did you go to Gourd Lake? I have no intention of telling you. Nor, apparently, would you tell Detective Gumshoe. Detective Gumshoe was really worried about you. What if I present the photo? Edgeworth? It's only been a matter of hours since you last visited. Yeah, you've made incredible progress in your investigation. I'll admit it, I'm impressed, right? You're always single-minded in your work, though. Once you start on something, you always see it through, don't you? About the Dl6 incident. Right, Dl6. Didn't want you to find out about it. That's why I refused your offer to help defend me. I'm sorry if it sounded like I thought you weren't up to the job. Just want to keep you away from DL6. So, do you still think it would have been better for me to stay anyway? I don't know. But, I see no point in hiding anything from you now. Very well. Ask whatever you like, and I'll answer the best of my abilities. The DL6 incident. That was when my father died. Right before my eyes. He was shot and killed, and I saw it all. My memories from that time are foggy. I suppose it was a self-defense mechanism. In any case, the suspect was arrested, a man. It's pretty clear he was the only one who could have killed my father. The spirit medium they used to talk to my late father said the same thing. It was an attorney by the name of Robert Hammond that cleared the suspect's name. And Hammond is the victim in Gourd Lake murder? Correct. That spirit medium, that was my mom. What, you mean you're... It's strange. I thought that terrible incident was about to end, and now this... About to end? The Dl6 incident happened 15 years ago. 15 years ago on December 28th. December 28th. The statute of limitations on the case runs out in 3 days. What? Nick, what does that mean? It's when a case statute of limitations runs out legally. The case never happened. 3 days from now, DL6 will be closed. Forever. What happened to the suspect? The one who got off innocent? I don't know. He disappeared from public view. Nobody knows where to. If he's still alive, he'd be about 50 years old now. Guess I can understand why he'd go into hiding. It'd be hard to live a normal life after being a murder suspect in such a big case. So was your father a lawyer? He was. Gregory Edgeworth. He was quite famous at the time, apparently. So you were sort of trying to follow in his footsteps. I'd rather not talk about it. I'm sorry, I can't think of anything I want to say about that. We already asked you questions on those. Gordy? Picture? Who would have thought there'd be a photo? Edgeworth, did you shoot him? What do you think, right? I don't think you're the kind to point a gun at anyone, no. So you didn't shoot him? No, I didn't. It wasn't me. Right? It pains me to ask you this now. I know you want us to defend you. Yes, will you? Of course we will. We're all in this together. And who could have guessed that this day would come? Not me. This is my chance to finally pay you back. Pay him back? Pay me back? For what? I don't remember ever doing anything for you. Never mind, I'll guess you don't really need to know. Huh. My letter of request. Please give it to Detective Gumshoe. Well, I guess we shouldn't... What's that? An earthquake? Nick! It's a big one. What? It's calming down? Whew. That was scary. Huh? Where's Edgeworth? There. He's on the floor in the ball, shivering. Guess he doesn't do well with earthquakes. Hey, you've heard of running, but curling up in a ball? I guess we're done. Mr. Edgeworth doesn't seem like he's going to stand up anytime soon. Let's go, Nick. Alright, we have to give Edgeworth's letter of request to the Detective Gumshoe. Quick, to criminal affairs! October 25th. What's going on here? What's wrong, Detective? This wild lady comes in here just a while ago. Says she came to talk to y'all after hearing what Mr. Wright had to say. What's this all about, pal? A lot of heart. Why are you going around finding more witnesses? Do you want to give Mr. Edgeworth a death sentence, pal? No, not at all. Just, I mean, she did see something. There's nothing I can do about that. Can't go around covering up evidence. You're trying to say something about the way I do my job? No, sir. Look what I got. Hey, you did it, pal. Glad I waited till the last minute to file those papers. I'll rip them up and start new ones for you. Thanks, Detective. Well, I'll see you in court tomorrow, then. Good luck, pal. Edgeworth is a wimp. Hey, don't insult the client. Hey, you guys feel that earthquake a little while back? I was worried. Worried? We're fine. I lived out here my whole life. Pretty used to them by now. Oh, I wasn't worried about you two. I was worried about Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, right. He did seem to overreact a little, now that you mention it. Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. It was a pretty big quake. I want to go check on him. You two go eat and get your rest for tomorrow's trial. Later. I wonder what it is with Mr. Edgeworth and earthquakes. I wonder. He was never that scared of them when he was in school. Then again, I only really got to know him in the 4th grade. He transferred to another school after that. I wonder what happened to Edgeworth. I think we're going to end off this stream here. I know it's a lot shorter than we usually do, but my phone's about to run out of battery, so I want to get on the charger. So, thank you all for watching. Big Tuna. Actually, I would say anything you'd like to say, but I don't think anyone else can see what you have to say if you said anything. Okay, Big Tuna says bye. So, see you, everyone. Bye-bye.